a stray shot lands. Laugh it off with cheering fans. Game on, the cruise inside. Rolling dice or taking flight. Game on, through wins and fails. We ride our tails on streaming trails. Engines roar, the radar sings. Dogfight aces spread their wings. Fox 3 fire, the bandits fall. Digital skies, we brave them all. Game on, the cruise inside. Rolling dice or taking flight. Game on, through wins and fails. We ride our tails on streaming trails. Dice are rolling, quests begun. Heroes fight till battle's won. Crystal lights and magic call. Adventure shines, we face it all. Game on, the cruise inside. Rolling dice or taking flight. Game on, through wins and fails. We ride our tails on streaming trails. Spice winds whisper, futures call. Destinies await us all. From stars to swords, we'll always play. The stream begins, the cruise away. Game on, the cruise inside. Rolling dice or taking flight. Game on, the fun won't fade. Together now, the games are made.
Okay, so now that we actually have sound, hey there people, we're about to bring up the Herc. For those who don't know, DCS has literally just released the Herc. It's been a long time coming. I have helped a little bit with the testing on this, and at some point hopefully, you know, we can grab Goose, one of the devs, in, and a friend of mine who did the flight model for this lovely aircraft. I apologise for any tilting, views, points, blah blah blah. I am running this in VR like normal, so yeah, you guys are just going to have to deal. However, I do need to do a reset apparently on my position because it thinks that I am well and truly forward to where I should be. and I need to double check that everything is running smoothly like it should be. And we need to restart DCS. We have this problem still where moving the mouse is causing mass issues. So let's just restart DCS. Apologies, people. We are getting there. The joys of live streaming, huh? If we can't get it to play nice properly, this next one I may just run it in 2D. Just to make my life easier for the moment. I did want to show people what it looks, what the performance is like in VR. That being said, if you're running it in 2D, I strongly recommend you turn on, and you have a card that supports it, so a NVIDIA 2000 series, RTX 2000 or later, or a AMD card that supports ray tracing or the like. This module has put ray tracing into DCS, and it's beautiful. I will say that. There's, understand the module is just released. We're going to probably see some hiccups as it goes out into the wild from, encountering from being on dozens of systems to now being ran on hundreds, thousands. So I feel for the ASC team as they now get inundated with new bunch of issues. We are just waiting on DCS to relaunch here. Oh, try to, huh? Okay, that feels a lot better. Still got a little bit of bounce there, but nowhere near what we were getting before. And that should settle down some. Yeah, see? It's settling down. Okay, so first things first, we are going to, so these are the settings I'm running on in VR. Let's come and have a look at the control list. You have a couple here, so obviously you have all the core ones for the C-130J, the Loadmaster, and then the stuff for the UI itself. We are going to come into here. We're going to check some access commands. So that is set correctly. That is set correctly. My flaps. I want to make certain my tiller is set, which is this, nose wheel steering. It's important. We have throttle left, throttle right. If you happen to have enough, you can run multiple throttles, you can. So that's the main ones that I wanted to check for the moment. Everything else we will do some other stuff. So we're going to come across the special here, C-130J. So you can turn around and enable this, and you can also ECBs. Like, one thing to probably want to have an idea of is the menu for bringing up the UI. So the checklist menu shall hide. This one right here. Just left Control C. Right. Cargo menu Control C. Left control thing. So for this, I'm actually going to bind it. Damn it. There we go. I'm going to bind it to that. The other one I want to bind at the moment is my autopilot disconnect. I need that. Let's see what I was saying. AFCS. Disconnect, where is it? Ah, here's the other one. We want to make certain our trims are all set. So we're going to trim nose down, trim nose up, right wing down. We need to go do left wing down, left wing down. Then we want right or left, right or right. So autopilot disconnect, CMS dispense, hush, and I'll worry about me go around and the like later. Okay. So for this one, we're actually going to go multiplayer. We're going to go to TGW Aussie Gaming on the training server. And for the first time for public use, okay, I need to check something later in the background here. So we're going to wait for DCS to load in and up and all that fun stuff. I do need to update my SRS at some point. I completely forgot about it. But yeah, so for the moment we're I'm waiting for DCS to do its build of everything and load in. So all the normal stuff first time after a patch. Now there's a bunch of options that I haven't enabled for use in here. You know, typical normal stuff. Join the Blue Coalition here. Now, at the moment, they're on our server. There's no C-130s just sitting in here because they were password protected. So, what I can do here is I can go like this. We should now see. Maybe I didn't have the C-130 in this, so we'll have to dynamic it. Oh, there they are. So we now have the C-130 various points. But of course, there's nothing stopping you going dynamic slots. Cobbletti C-130J. RAF-37. We're going to spawn hot. Just so you guys can have a look in and around. I'm not going to put tanks on. I'm not putting the M4 on or anything like that. We are just going like this. Now again, first time running into this on this build, so but welcome to the C-130J's office as we wait for, you know, everything to load in. I expect to spend a little bit of time here with some mates. We've been looking forward to this module being public for a while. And I just did a no-no. Because I don't think they're on. Oh no, the APU's on. It is on. So this is low speed ground idle, which is where we want to be for taxiing and things like that. We're going to bring up this lovely little menu. So we've got all our nav, got all our stuff for cargoing staging. We've also got the ramp closed at the moment. And we could load things up from here for moving. Staging the cargo, loading the cargo. I need to bring the ramp down. I thought that had been fixed. Where? No, it was just where it was on my screen. Cool. There we go. The log for our logbook, files for PDFs, radio, etc., etc. The manual. the settings. My reverse noise, yeah, that's fine. There we go. So I want my reverse D10 to be about here. Alright, just going to move me up. Maybe a little bit further forwards. So it just means that you've got a spot where your D10 is for going into reverse, and this lets you set it. So it actually wants to be about there. Don't need a lot of reverse range in this bird. Of course, now I've got to find my low speed ground idle range again. Let's hide that for a second. And it's late and I'm having a brain fart. I know exactly what I'm looking for and I can't find it. I'm looking for my PLE levers and I've not had to check them for a while because I've had this all. There we go. Don't need to anyway. There are options in here too, so this is fully functional. See, all your PFD items, all your engine items, your nav radar, your diagnostics for most of it. For your bus status, your maintenance, list items obviously, you know, that don't work because thing, but you can bring other stuff in, your system order, all that stuff. Cap, Digimap, tours, you can set everything to default for your starts. Which nav set you're running off, all of your pre-flight items, all your HUD test, all your lighting, manual show is also really detailed. Your CNI and the like down here is all fully functional. Somebody's messaging me. And that was the laugh there. It's actually, the message was from Goose. So, what we're going to do here, if I can remember what the ICAO code for here is, I could actually bring in the auto nav. sorry, also messaging with Goose. So, said that's so you can hear the little dings from there occasionally. He's dead tired. He's been up most of his day and the like, so yeah. But we want the ICAO code for Cobbletti, because what I want to show you is that this actually works, right? This is not just pretty pictures and stuff like that. This is a fully working CNI that we can enter data into manually if we wanted to, but right now I just had a wave of nausea from pain, so we are going to actually just get this thing in the air, and we will do some stuff on this later. When my brain is actually working too. I want to go... I want to go power up. Because I want to go back to route 1. There we go. Now we could also do all of our perf in it. I've got nothing on board. So we don't have any issue there. One thing people should be aware of, you know, you are going to have to follow certain rules, items, etc. for things like opening the ramp here. So if we go external, we've just opened up the ramp. So ramp's open. But if you're doing a cold and dark startup and you don't have hydraulics and things like that turned on, you know, that stuff's not going to work. And just look at this sexy fucking thing. They have done... The modelling on this is beautiful. The modelling in here is beautiful. Like, if I push back from the seat here, we're gonna, as much as I can, let's unwrap myself here. So we're in VR, right? Apart from the fact that I have to actually get out. But we have things like that there actually is fully modelled. We're in the cockpit one at the moment, so you know there are some sections where you've got to be aware of, you know, certain limitations when you're moving around, because we're cockpit, not loadmaster. But the microwave actually opens. Like, if I can get to the mouse here, you have physics on this stuff, and this is actual physics. It's not pre-rendered stuff like that. I could, and yeah, because I'm in VR. If I wasn't in VR, I could show you, and obviously if you've watched the trailers, you can see that things like the microwave can be opened. All of this has been really nicely modelled. The scale is just about spot on for where it needs to be, and any mismatch is probably actually my DCS. This, you know, this is a very beautiful, beautiful bird. It has been a labour of love, I know, for Matt or someone somewhere, Goose, and everybody else who has worked on it. And they've done a very impressive job for a civilian module, running off what, you know, everything. This is beautiful. Now, with that back door down, one thing we can do is, like, we could actually load cargo now. So if we come to the cargo, you'll notice it's telling us that the ramp is down, and we could stage a preset if we had any presets nearby. We could spawn in cargo, so we could spawn in ammo. Right, and if we come to stage, Actually, I don't know if we can spawn in because I don't think I've set it to be allowed. But like I can put cargo in on this. And the like, but we are actually going to create, like, from a cobble eddy, we want some aim on 20s. Gotta forgive me, there's parts of this that I've been testing, you know, it's like parts that I've been testing and stuff like that, and some things have changed since when I did them, so I want that. The problem is no resources match my filters. Yeah, go. Jeez. I need to do some presets because I've got a feeling I've got to update something these days over on the server, and it's a me thing. I've not updated the server since testing with Goose a little while ago. You get the idea. If I had the stuff actually set properly, you could load it in, open it up, get everything loaded, stage presets, everything. Once this is closed, you can't run the checklist for your taxi, etc., etc. We are going to skip a whole bunch of stuff because I just want to get flying. Except for my thing is around the wrong way. So we need to fix that. So let's come in here. We're going to invert this. Flaps to 50. And of course, you know, I've turned this way too fast just then, and you will do it. Trust me. You will turn this too fast and basically slide the nose wheel. This build is not my normal one, so it doesn't have any of my curves in it. Bring her over. Get her lined up. Come on. Come on. Too far. Okay. Now, until we get speed up over the back here, we're going to be relying on this for our main steering. So, low speed ground idle is off. Our CNIs are all clear, temperatures are all good. We can transfer over from external power back to normal and shut down the APU. All our cal flaps are open. That is all good. That's good. Thing we do want to. Well, we should. We don't have to, but we should spin our HSI and everything around to match takeoff heading. Except for what I get the feeling I've got this. Yeah, just push the sync for me. And push the sync. Okay. Thing which means if we were to use this, which we're not, we could turn around and set our altitude. $15,000 to begin with. Okay, let's take her up to takeoff power again. Correct our steering just until we get rudder authority, which we've got. So we've got rudder authority now, and airborne. We're going to get the flaps coming up. The other one is normally, dude over in that seat would be doing a whole bunch of work for me here and getting those gear up as well. We are airborne.
1,000 to go.
She's a big girl, and that's what people are going to have to get used to. She is a big girl. She's able to go fairly fast, but she's still a Hurricane. See if that was good.
Check altitude. Check altitude. Check altitude.
Another friend.
Check altitude. Check altitude.
Yes,
Check
Betty,
altitude.
I'm aware. You can be quiet. We're above the altitude, I know, that I set. Okay, so we're going to go to max continue. Now that we're airborne, let's bring up some of the PFD options. Nav radar over under there. DG map over on here. Not that I have anything on my digimap at the moment for flight plan wise, but thing, just preferences for, you know, where you might want things. Gear up, flaps up. That's done. That's done. And cabin pressure is stable, even if that was not set correct for where we took off from. Wind this down. There we go. And I don't have this mapped at the moment. I didn't check. Trim her out. So, double check that this is all set. Set that. We're going to set our altitude to... Oh, I need to bring the PFD. Actually, no, I don't. It's right there. Altitude is set. Out, hold on. Heading hold on. The other one too here is we can turn around and like just start pulling circuit breakers. Your ECBs all work. So this is if we're over in the seat where I end up 99.99% of the time. This is back in the Loadmaster. Again, I don't have everything mapped for this one, but like we can walk. If we opened up the doors and the like, we could happily go for a fallout. This is very disconcerting in VR. So, like if I can't do it from this seat, one sec, because I don't have a map for back there. Apart from the fact we're going way too fast for what I'm about to do. And I meant to dump the air. I am meant to dub the cabin pressure and the like before we do what I just did. Which is why we have a master caution, by the way. You can go walking off there and die.
Autopilot.
Double tap that. Shut up, Betty. Bring this back to flight idle. Now, if I'm not mistaken with where we are, we should have a small runway or the like around here somewhere. And I could go pull it up, and this is why I should have actually got off my ass and and you know, done some checks. The other thing is to remember, I'm flying this light. She's full of fuel, yes, but no cargo. So she is very light. One big sexy bird though. Because I think where I wanted was further back. Let's risk an F10, Matt. Let's risk it. Yeah, I want it back over here, but we do have one over here. So 270. There's the river. I think it's just on the other side of the mountain here. Because, yeah, I probably will not be streaming too much longer, guys. I know I've got some people watching, and thanks to everybody who is watching. It's just it is 4 o'clock in the morning here. And I do need to do some changes to the server and the like, to allow this bird to actually be used in all her glory, now that she's officially out. But anybody watching who wants me to have a look at anything specific, if you want, just dump it in chat real quick and I'll try and have a look.
Too low. Terrain.
I'm looking for Goose's test landing site. It was put in specifically because he asked for it during testing. I believe it's just over here. Nope, okay, it's just over there. But yeah, if anybody's wondering, like, I'm on a 5080, but we are, the FPS frame is up there. We're 90 FPS with decent settings on in this bird. I believe it's along there. Yep. This was one of the challenges that Goose used to set for me, was to land this in along here. Basically the equivalent of about the length of my local airfield, where one of these can land just. So I'm going to come down to flight idle, start bleeding off some speed here. Start easing the flaps in. Thank you to whoever has followed. I would say your name, but they are. Let's drop down the gear here. And again, normally I would have somebody to help me with a bunch of this, and he's not here. Up. Yeah. And he would be telling me off right now. For a couple of reasons, just them. One of which was that I stopped flying the plane. And was focusing a little bit too much on other things. Okay, let's ease off on the rudder pedals. Bring the throttle back again now that we're coming through. Throttle back up a little bit. Notice that we're wallowing a little bit because we're slow. We've got the flaps out. Okay, so these are up into the flare. We're gonna drift. Come on. Come on. Into that beta range. We've just lost authority on the thing, so we have to switch to the tiller, out of the beta range. And if we had cargo on, we could now unload it, or the like right here. You know, we could, if we had the cargo in and everything was set up, other than the fact we now have a search radar going nuts. Yes, Betty, I get it. The other one is, of course, normally 2. That. And we'd finish opening that. But that's where I'm going to leave the stream for tonight, guys. I will hopefully have a lot more of this soon. Let's get away from there for a second. Because, yeah, the goal is to hopefully eventually get Goose up and on. Both of us have been looking forwards to having a fly with this where we're not having to keep it just between ourselves. So, thank you for watching, and I will catch everybody later on.
It's that time we say goodbye. The game is done. The world's gone by. We'll